crank back out, we can clearance the block the places we marked. We need to cut out, make a little extra room. We'll show you a little bit of that. That's really all there is to it. You just go all the places you marked, take enough off, and build your motor. Okay, we just got through clearancing the block right here in these little sections where we needed for the stroke that it has now. Down here too. Now we're going to start assembling the motor. First thing we're going to do is install the cam bearings and install the cam. That's the first thing you do, because you want to make sure that the cam goes in right and turns smoothly, because if you don't, you have to tear the whole motor back apart. So you want to do that first. Thing you want to do when installing a cam bearing is put the right one in first. These are numbered and they go in certain sections. You put number 5 in first. Number 5 cam bearing is a 2022 DR. So we have to look for that number on that bearing, which it should be this one right here. .22 DR. Okay. On all these other ones, I like to line the cam bearing hole right up with the oil hole, but on this back one we can't do it. But there is a ridge, oil hole, ridge that runs all the way around, so we'll just line the hole up with that oil ridge. I'm adjusting the cam bar to fit the cam bearing just by turning it. And then you take and tap it in. Now we'll take it out and look at it and see if it's where we want it or if we need to move it some more. Slide a pick inside the back of the cam bar. It has a little hole where you can adjust it, and then turn the cam bar is all you do. And we'll look at it, and it still needs to go further, so we'll knock it in further. And that's it right there. Now we're going to do number 4, which is a 2023 DR. Be the one next to mine. 2023 DR. Now this is how you adjust the cam bar. You just stick this in there, something to hold this in, and you just turn the bar, and it swells up around the cam bearing. And you got to make sure these little metal slides are over that bearing. You don't want them going inside that bearing, it'll ruin the bearing. And that's how you can beat it in. And to take it back out, loosen it up, take it off, slide it out. If you're a first timer Always put your cam bar in first and then put your bearing on right before your hole. Now that one's tight. Now this hole will line up with the oil hole, the oil feed hole from the crank, which is right here. Now you can look right down the oil feed hole and you can see the oil hole for the cam bearings. Your cam bearings are numbered because every cam bearing is a different size. Not on your cam, but on your block where it goes through. I'm just wiping the bearing off just to make sure there's no... Just take a little Simile lube and lube the bearing. Now since we're building a 383 and I'm putting it in a truck, I went ahead and bought the cam from GM for a 383 truck motor. I'll take the cam and lube it. I'm putting the cam in right now before the engine's built, because if something's wrong with one of the cam bearings, I want to know now before I build the motor. That way I can fix it now instead of tearing the whole motor back down. Just be real easy so you don't scar any bearings. Turn the cam to make sure that you're not locked up or anything. Just grab a hold of it. And I'll put the retaining holder down. Okay, now the cam's all done. Next thing we'll do is put the main bearings in, put the crank in it, torque that all down.